What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Sakamoto Days, episode 22 and full series. So in this one, the basically with Shinayo defeated, the proctors of the exam decide to end the exam early, and basically any the surviving applicant to have a passing grade passes. Torimaru is shocked to learn that the fat guy is Sakamoto. So Mafuyu and Torimaru are kidnapped by Konaguri and Carolina Reaper, who are working for Slur. And Slur asks them to join his cause to destroy the JAA. Now, Nagamo, Tsushiba, and Osaragi are sent to Kyoto to investigate Slur's latest attack. Now, Shin receives a letter in the mail that was finished at top of his class. Now, Sakamoto was disqualified due to having a bounty on his head, and so he can't attend JCC. So Nagamo gives Sakamoto disguise, to where basically he disguises him as Sakamoto's wife, so he can enter the JCC as a teacher. And so basically, so Akira has, due to her personality, has issues adjusting to how things work, how very cutthroat the JCC is. But Sakamoto in disguise helps her out, and basically prevents her from basically knocking the crap out of this dude. They're in like a close quarters class. So then Shin decides to experience what it's like being in a school, since he never got that before he resumes his mission to access the JCC database. And basically, it looks like he and Sakamoto have 24 hours to find it, because that's when, in 24 hours, Sakamoto's disguise wears off. So yeah, so I like this episode. That was a funny way to end the series, or at least end this season. I don't know if there's going to be a season 2. But right now, there's nothing saying we're doing a season. All we know is we're getting a live action movie. Yeah, I think that's in 2 parts. I'm cautiously, I'm cautious about that because it's a live action. Anyway, but enough with that. So yeah, I thought this was a good episode. Liked how they finished it off. Like it was funny. Yes, Shania, who was basically brainwashed, he had no idea what's going on, but his reaction, everything was pretty funny. And yeah, the whole deal of Sakamoto reaction not passing was pretty funny. And yeah, like Shin trying to get experience high school, like how things were. So yes, that was funny. Like I thought this was a really good episode. Good, like I guess season finale or maybe series finale. I hope we get a season 2. I don't know when they'll announce a second season, if they do another one. I hope to, because this was a really good season, like a really good show. like a like it is a really good assassin show. So yeah, I really liked it. I thought this was a good show. Hopefully we get a season 2. Haunted Hotel. So this is a new adult animated show on Netflix. Basically, the basic premise is you have a hotel that's, well, losing money, and it's inhabited by a bunch of ghosts. The Underrail Hotel, basically. So Catherine bought basically, I guess, got the hotel from her brother after he died. Her brother still lives there as a ghost. So the main cast is, you have Nathan, Catherine's brother. You have Catherine, who owns the hotel. You have Ben, who's Catherine's teenage son. You have Esther, who's Catherine's daughter, who dabbles in black magic. Yeah, and then you have Abaddon, who's like this demon that possesses this a young boy's body from the 1700s. Basically, he was trapped in there when exorcism was stopped halfway through. So instead of being exorcised, he was just trapped in the body. Yeah. So basically, this show deals with a bunch of like their hijinks throughout it. Like you have a whole deal of, I guess, Ben dating a ghost who, like, dating this one female ghost. Then that's a recurring plot point. You have, like, Nathan being very nonchalant about the fact he's a ghost. Like, there's an episode where I guess their cruel aunt appears, so they have to deal with that. The aunt dies, becomes a ghost, but what she's happy about, basically making them, Catherine and Nate, like, sad that they have to deal with her for all eternity. She, like, fades away, I guess, because that's her unfinished business. She's probably a little pissed off about that. Like, oh, I don't have to deal with her anymore. There's a whole bit where Ben feeling very insecure about himself, like, splits with all different aspects of his personality. You have, like, Cat Ben, I guess it's supposed to be like his inner furry or something. You have like a shy Ben, horny Ben, like, yeah, horny Ben's freaking weird. Like, I mean, you can guess by the name, but the dude is like really freaking horny. It's like, what the freak? They're trying to figure out how to merge back once they start figuring like, hey, we can't kill each other. Then we can't kill one because we'll probably kill each other. Like, basically, they try a lot of them try to kill the main Ben. Like, wait, wouldn't that kill you? Then they figure out, well, you'll just get. Basically, it's like it gets to where it's like, hey, you might get into a Highlander scenario. So then they figure out the Ben, and Catherine's idea is basically is for the Bens to make out and then see that, which they do, and then horny Ben's like, maybe it's just something more than that. I'm like, dear gosh, what the frick is this? And I forgot. Basically, they go through some wardrobe thing or whatever, and they all merge. Except Free Spirit Band, who I guess is still out there somewhere. And you have one that where uh, Esther gives like people these like little monsters as pets. So like I guess is a way to buy friends, and so they end up all being possessed, and they end up dealing with that. Then you have this whole bit of Catherine goes on a date with some like a, goes on a date with someone while the kids and Nathan watch the hotel, and like basically they deal with like this like serial killer who I guess who kills people who are having sex. So it tries to kill like the serial killer tries to kill all these high schoolers, and they try to defeat the serial killer with the ghost of this I guess one guy who while running away from the ghost fell on a tree branch and broke his neck and died. He had misremembered how he died because he was not getting laid at all. He was just near to people who were doing it. Basically, that ghost was like traumatized by walking on his parents. And I guess he like decides to kill people for doing it. So he tries to kill Catherine, whoever guy she was with. Yeah, there's a bunch of weird. I think the last of it was like a basically the cult of the acolytes of Abaddon, some cult that worships Abaddon. Like basically tries to summon the apocalypse to bring hell to Earth so that Abaddon could be back on in hell. And Abaddon doesn't want I guess, his newfound friends to die. So he keeps trying to find a way to get his powers and save all of them. But he eventually, after many attempts, going through dawn of time, all that, eventually decides to just make sure the cult, like, make sure the cult doesn't get to basically stay in the hotel. He beats them up and makes them all leave. before they enter the hotel. Yeah, so okay, this says behind from so the logo says from the speaking minds behind Rick and Morty. That is a freaking lie. The guy who created this, he is a writer on Rick and Morty, so Matt Roller, he is not the creator of Rick and Morty. That is Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland who created. Now, of course, Dan Harmon runs the Rick and Morty basically by himself now. You know, and basically you have like of course your showrunners. You have Mike McMahon there. You have Scott Martyr. Who are involved. So yeah, I mean, who are also serving as showrunners for Rick and Morty, but like for so Matt Roller was not never even a showrunner for Rick and Morty. He was a writer, one of probably many writers. So this is one of the problems. You have some of these writers, they come from Rick and Morty, like Jessica Gal, Matt Roller, a few others, who are like, oh, they worked on Rick and Morty. They must know what they're doing. Yeah, no, that is freaking Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland who were writing Rick and Morty, who were the main people writing it. You have a few writers, but they weren't running the show. So Matt Roller was not running the show at Rick and Morty. Yeah, that's a good thing to have on his resume, at least the early seasons. But yeah, I mean, come on, really? You're gonna put like this? It's a very misleading thing. Yeah, you worked on Rick and Morty. You were a writer. That is a good thing to have on your resume. Don't freaking act like you created it, because that's what this the tagline from the Speaker Minds on Rick and Morty. That's what it implies. It implies that this guy was actually involved with the creation. He wasn't, to my knowledge. He may have been a writer for a while, but I don't think he was not a creator of Rick and Morty. As far as and it definitely shows this show freaking sucks. Look, the animation's freaking terrible. I just don't like current day adult animation. Why does adult animation have such worse animation than kid shows? Like, there's a time. Look, here's the thing. Adult animation, a lot of it, the animation does suck. It does. Kids animation historically has better animation quality. Now, the reason why adult animation has worse animation quality? Oh, it's a simple explanation. Usually, bad animation is supposed to help with the humor. That is why South Park, Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, I would not call those well animated. Like, Bob's Burgers, Canada Hill, Beavis and Butthead. These are, guess what? It is not quality animation. It is not. These are not, the animation in none of these shows are of the highest quality, are of good quality. But guess what? What that is supposed to do is help with the humor. Rick and Morty did it pretty well in a similar style to this show. Like all the really good adult comedies, a lot cartoons, a lot of them do have bad animation, but they use the animation to enhance the humor, and so it works. This show and many other adult cartoons do not do that. It's just bad. So it's not even fun. It's not even funny. Like in the voice acting, like the guy who does Abaddon is probably the only one that seems to have some form of effort. Trying to sound like demonic, like very fancy speak. Seems the only one doing it. Everyone just sounds like they don't care. Like they don't sound like they care. It was like, oh, we got a short little Netflix show. Yeah, I mean, this is a show with better writing. This could have been a good show with better writing. This show is freaking terrible. Like this is one of the worst limited series I have ever seen. Like, and I don't think it's gonna get a second season. I don't know who in the world approved it, but it was bad. Like in premise, okay, you have a hotel that's haunted by ghosts. Okay, we honestly, where are the ghosts? Like the ghosts are, you may see a few ghosts here and there, but they're not like a major role. To be honest, that was another issue. You outside of Nathan, the ghosts are pretty minor. Like you have a haunt, yeah, okay, you have a demon possessing young boys by, and you have a your ghost of the owner's brother. None of the other ghosts really are play a major role. There, you may see some a few times, like on as side characters, but they are side characters. They don't do anything. They don't do anything useful. Like, and that is freaking retarded. I'm like, come on, you gotta have the ghosts be major roles. I mean that was a big mistake. It's not letting the ghosts be major. I mean, you have a serial killer ghost, yeah, for one episode, but it's like, okay, why can't in every episode we have you let these characters be relevant? Like, apparently there's a bunch of ghosts that inhabit the hotel. You barely see them. Thought was dumb. They should have been more important, like bigger characters in the show, and that would have been great to see. That would have been cool to see. I feel like we didn't get enough of that. And then with all the bad writing, like honestly, if this was like you could what should have been done, they could have made it as a kid show. Also, take out your adult humor stuff. Oh, that look, that's obvious. Take out the adult humor. Make about a fun show about ghosts in the hotel. That could you would deal the guests interact with them. That could have been fun. Could have been like I mean, look, you have like a foster home for imaginary friends type thing. That could have been a fun idea, but they just made a bad cartoon. I mean, it's not good. So yeah, I cannot recommend this show. It sucks. Well, that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.